Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment video. My name is Wood. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like the way any of the topics or subjects are being broken down or discussed on the channel. Help me out. Um, right now with this Last Dance documentary that's out there for ESPN, chronicling the final season of the MJ and Phil and Scottie Pippen led Bulls, Chicago Bulls. Um, an interesting discussion continues to be my man Zeke, Isiah Thomas. Is there a bigger injustice or wrong that needs to be righted in all of sports than Zeke and this and this snub? Being left off of the dream team. I don't, maybe Walter Payton not getting a chance to score a touchdown. The '85 Super Bowl, or the Bears and the Patriots Super Bowl. Uh, the whole Tuck situation, the immaculate reception. Uh, Another Patriots thing with the quarterback Bledsoe not being able to return to his job. I'm trying to think of some of these other situations out there, but I just think because this involves this all star team that went to the Olympics, international sporting events, so on and so forth, and this is just not being related to one franchise, one pro franchise. I don't know if there's a bigger sports injustice that's out there. And I guess it comes down to, with the Wire coming back into pop culture right now with the podcast that's on the Ringer and this rewatch of the Wire. It takes me back to one of the coldest statements from the Wire when Marlowe told the one dude, you want it to be one way, but it's the other. When the security guard lost his life for messing around, just for telling Marlowe you can't steal a sucker. I saw you clip those suckers. But anyway, I digress. It kind of just goes back to, it's a different world of sports now. There's a lot, there's bigger, there's more focus on it. We have all of these shows now. We got all of these YouTube channels. We have Twitter. We got all this stuff now to where, maybe they couldn't have gotten this off back then. But I do think, in listening to maybe Magic, maybe more so Charles Barkley explain it, might be the best summarization of the entire thing, that kind of suggests that Isiah Thomas, while he's dealt with this, over the last, 20 something, 28, 29 years or whatever it is, he might just have to settle with what, it is. Just have to settle with where it lies at this point. Because I think it was Barkley who just mentioned, or maybe it was Magic, but you have to take into consideration that this process was over the course of several months, where this unit had to be with one another. And prior to that, Isiah was the common denominator in clashing with like three of the four heads that would be on the NBA's Mount Rushmore, in Magic, Bird, and then Michael Jordan. We might have a whole different Mount Rushmore right now versus back then. But at that point, that's probably three of the four on what would be NBA's Mount Rushmore. And he had beef with all three of them. And now to turn around and think that you can go along with them on this journey, probably just wasn't gonna happen. And I remember back in the day, it was a comedian, I believe, that had a joke about it, and was just like, MJ looked at the list and saw a name on the list and was like, "Nah, I'm not playing with that." It might have been an interview joke or a joke that was made in an interview. I don't really recall, but I think I finally got an answer that I'm comfortable with now, and can move on from this. And then I think Isiah just has to find some solace in the fact that, hey, would you rather have your two titles, had a great shot at having a third title, but are you more comfortable with that than maybe going along to get along, not being as abrasive and as confrontational, and not playing your ass off in those situations as an underdog, as the team that nobody wanted to see win? Are you more comfortable being the face of the bad boys and having that back-to-back championship that not every team has done? Not every team has done. Or would you rather have been a part? Would you have rather lost those series, shook hands, and been this beaming example of great sportsmanship? Because we've seen a lot of guys that I feel like have been competing against LeBron who didn't give me the effort that I need to see in the NBA for me to be really to be fully vested in it the way that I was back in the late 80s, or through the mid to late 80s. But it meant that much to Isiah Thomas and the Bad Boys and the city. But would you trade all of that in to have come up short, or maybe only just won the one title, maybe won one title, but then, a couple years later, to be a part of this dream team where, in all reality, them getting a gold medal was a foregone conclusion? I don't remember what the hell John Stockton, I don't even remember what his contributions to the team was, to be honest with you. I honestly don't recall. I don't even recall like what anybody did. I mean, I know the points differential, or the win differential was 35 points or something. The main thing I remember is Barkley elbowing the African cat, from one of the African teams, in the chest. That's about really all it was a celebration of the NBA players going, of professionals competing in the Olympics, and America reestablishing its supremacy in basketball against the world's best. So I can see how you want to be recognized, you want to be a part of that. You might have wanted to have but maybe you would have got there and been like, I don't like none of these ones. No way. Y'all, I don't know. It seems to bother Zeke now. And that's a moment, of everything that he accomplished, this is the one empty spot on his mantle. But I mean, you look at a lot of little guys. I mean, you look at a Carmelo Anthony, who's a bigger guy, but an Allen Iverson, several of those New York players, a Patrick Ewing. You look at some of these guys that didn't get the primary job done, which is to win an NBA championship. I think Zeke, you just got to be okay with what you did do. And there's nothing to really even try to keep adding on to this. I think you just gotta, hey man, I made some decisions, and in the moment, I was what I was. I did what I did, and it cost me. And life goes on. But But again, I don't recall did anybody have a high game of 28 points or 30 points. Bird, I don't recall Bird really doing anything. I don't remember anything specific about that. But I do remember several moments over those 3 years, maybe even 5 years, as they were trying to beat the Celtics to even go to the finals. I remember a lot of great moments from Isiah Thomas that, in the big scheme of things, outweigh anything he would have done at the Olympics. So that's it, man. Let me get on off here again. My name is Wood. I'd appreciate, I chop it up with anybody that wants to make a comment or leave a comment on the situation. The NBA Finals winners are still to this point considered world champions. I had T-shirts of world champions on there when the bad boys won back in the day. So we still with you, Zeke. Peace.